A quick note to start Malaysia Mystery Tour day number 5. The original plan, of course, was to wake up in Ipoh, nestled in our hotel there. We've already gotten a feel for the neighborhood, the city, and then we're going to go out exploring and really dive in. But of course, because of the holiday, we couldn't even go to Ipoh. All the hotels were booked. So we're outside of town in a place called Gopeng. And Gopeng looks like a cool place. I really like it here. I'm, Planet Doug style. I'm looking for a cheap room and I'm staying here for a week. Yeah, it's near the hills. They've got this place here, Gahura Tea Valley. This seems to be the big budget tourist attraction here. Go spend the morning checking out a tea plantation and learning about tea. But there's all kinds of these great, it reminds me of Port Dickson. Like this building over here, a Leaf Cafe, looks great. And all the streets, it just seems like a very historic town. All these buildings are quite old. And we just passed by another great little restaurant over there. Yeah, a historic little place. Very friendly, very welcoming. Interesting. I think there's a lot of history here. But and here's the man with all the plans. Organizing for the day. And I just popped over to 7-Eleven to get the traditional Planet Doug carton of milk. More and more like my kind of town. I mentioned the other restaurant that really jumped out at me as we walked by. Check this place out. I could traffic all the time. This place here, Mohammed Rafi. It's right around the corner from our hotel, and they're open, bustling. This is the neighborhood place. And of course, what I like about it is the ability to self-serve. I just grabbed a couple of these spring rolls, kind of a chicken curry puff, and I got one of these as well. I don't know what you call them. It's like a little pancake. And they've got some chicken ready to go, and of course, all of the other dishes you could ask for. Yeah, great place. A lot of history here, I think. Really comfortable seating on the inside. Yeah, I don't even need to go to Ipoh. I could just stay here. Be quite happy. So as I said, that's all I ended up with. Just a couple of snacky things. And I don't really know what that is. I thought maybe it was coconut at first, but it's not. Maybe something sugary. We'll find out. And I've been saying over and over that I need a haircut. I was trying to get a haircut before this trip so I could be presentable for you. I never got around to it. But right across the road, look at that. Classic barbershop. Rambut. Kedai Gunting Rambut. Yeah, and that classic building. Shop front. And we've got milk tea and tea tarek. So this is the chicken one, and I guess it's just like a chicken samosa, I assume. No. Whoa. Spicy.
This is not that spicy.
I bit into a pepper. Like chicken and potato, mainly potato stuffing. And this one, I don't anticipate any big surprises. I think it's also potato stuffing. And then we have this here. I'm just going to bite into it here where all that white stuff is. You can find out what it is. I don't know what it is. Just doughy doughy white mixture. I think it's just a thicker part of the dough. It's not sugar, it's not coconut, it's nothing like that. And your favorite, roti canai? Right there. Yeah. And last thing to sample, my milk tea. But as far as ingredients go, I don't know if there's any difference between milk tea and tea terek. Because terek, they pour it from one side to another and it gets all foamy. And maybe the ingredients are exactly the same, and this one they just don't make it foamy. I have no idea. Yeah, that's very nice. Very sweet tea. Just checking out of the Gopeng Inn here. We're all just piling into the car and getting ready to head to Ipoh. And I think once we get there, it might be time to check into our hotel. And our hotel is right near the center of town, the historic district. There's the Heritage Walk and the Ipoh railway station. And we're probably going to go there first and just get a feel for the town, walk around, get a sense of the old buildings and the history of the place. Yeah, I think that's on our plan for now. Yeah, you know, I'm really fond of, I guess this is my kind of town, you know, Gopeng. Tiny place. Not particularly known for anything, but you can see, you know, the style of the buildings. It'd be a cool place to base yourself if you didn't want to be in the heart of Ipoh. And there's, yeah, Gopeng Inn, nice hotel. All right, let's hit the road. Yeah, look at those buildings over there. Leaving from Gopeng. Yeah, I keep talking about how much I like that little town, and I really do. That was a very cool place. And we ended up staying there completely by accident, not by choice at all. And so far, we're very lucky with the weather again today. We have seen some rain in the afternoons, but nothing that interfered too much. Because we had rain in the afternoon in Taman Negara, and we were thinking about going walking around in the afternoon, evening, but we couldn't because of the rain. But other than that, the rain hasn't really had an effect on our plans. It's always been nice and sunny when we needed it to be. Yeah, the one problem with a town like Gopeng, I was talking about that this morning, is like this road is like one of the main highways in and out of Ipoh, and it's the main downtown road of Gopeng. So even though it's a small, yeah, the waterfall fountains over there. So even though Gopeng is a sleepy little town, the main road, like their downtown main street, is essentially this giant highway. So they get all the traffic from the highway, goes right through the heart of town. All this traffic narrows down to one lane, so it makes the town a little bit noisy, but yeah. Other than that, cool little place. So we're heading into Ipoh, 35 minutes maybe to get to where we want to be. You can see all the scenery around us that the Ipoh area is famous for. When we drove in yesterday, we noticed that karst on the right there. It's got a temple way up at the top. So if you were based in Gopeng, you could probably do a hike up to the top there. I bet you there's a very interesting trail getting all the way up there. But yeah, on all sides of us, there's quite high hills and limestone outcroppings. We're heading into Ipoh proper, and just noticed how nice this road is. Big divided road with trees on both sides. Nice green divider in the center. And we're still 2 or 3 or 3 or 4 kilometers from the historic downtown, like the old town area, but yeah. Getting a good feeling from the town already, just seeing the outskirts. And I was just refreshing my memory a little bit of the history of this town. And I don't know all the details, like all the specifics, of course, but of course the basic idea is that this was a town that started, its growth began because of tin mining. This is the Kinta River Valley. The Kinta River goes through here, and they discovered huge tin ore deposits here, and it just became a boom town. And they actually called it the city of millionaires. And a lot of Chinese immigrants just poured into this area to start up mines and businesses related to the mines. The British administered the area, and you see a lot of like the Ipoh train station and the Memorial Clock Tower. I think it's called the Birch Clock Tower, and a lot of the shop houses all have a history going back to the British colonial times. Yeah, there was a period of Japanese occupation during World War II. The Japanese controlled this area. And then at some point, the price of tin just collapsed. I forget exactly when that happened, but then all the boom era ended with when world tin prices dropped. I don't know why they did, but they did. And then this boom era of Ipoh, the city of millionaires, came to an end. And for decades, it was kind of a sleepy little town, very historic, but kind of forgotten. And then it had a resurgence, a rebirth as a center of tourism here in Malaysia. So now it's going through another boom period, but not because of tin mining, but because of, tourism. And this being a holiday weekend, there it is, lots of cars. So I mean, we're going to see people everywhere, Malaysian tourists, foreign tourists. I think the whole city is going to be bustling everywhere we go. Yeah, there's some old shop houses here. It's probably going to feel a lot like Penang to me, like Georgetown, in terms of the architecture. And apparently they're famous for their coffee, white coffee. So there's a sign right there, Kin Lung Changjiang white coffee. I don't know why there's white coffee at a park, but maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a little coffee shop in there. There's a nice little park. So I suppose at some point we're going to have to try some white coffee, find out what all the excitement is about. I was just wondering about Malaysia Day celebrations, exactly how it's celebrated, and then this car came right up beside us. It's one way to celebrate, like 200 Malaysian flags. I was just looking at some interesting notes about Ipoh to remind myself, and the name Ipoh comes from a local tree called Pokok Ipoh. And the sap of that tree was used by the original, like the indigenous people, the Orang Asli, as a hunting poison. And this was originally a small Malay village, like right on the Kinta River, on the shores of the Kinta River. And the big tin boom that I mentioned, I guess that started in the late 1800s to the early 20th. And by the early 20th century, Ipoh was called the city of millionaires because of all the wealth from tin and rubber. And they say that after Malaya's independence in 1957, Ipoh continued to grow, but the collapse of tin prices in the 1980s devastated the local economy. So the mines closed, unemployment, people moved to Kuala Lumpur. And that's when, so I guess, after the 80s, Ipoh was like a sleepy town. And then in the modern era, yeah, all its colonial era buildings, the history, the mines, the shop houses, the beautiful scenery, it became a tourism boom town. So yeah, it's a boom and bust town. But yeah, we're here on one of the busiest weekends of the year. So we've got a lot of traffic to deal with. And we're right in the heart of Old Town right now. And we may be able to park the car here and go for a walk, or we may keep going to around our hotel, and somehow park the car there and walk back. Our patient driver, Habib, he's on top of it. He's figuring everything out. Mystery tour continues. The idea was to park down in Old Town and just go for a walk and until we could check in at our hotel, but it was so jammed with traffic down there, we decided to just ride to the hotel neighborhood. It's not that far away. And this is the hotel building, the Hotel Regal Vista. It's where we'll be staying for 2 nights. And it's like, I don't know, less than a kilometer from Old Town. So that works out well. We can just walk from here into Old Town. Seems like a great place, really great staff at the front desk. And the hotel is like fully booked night after night after night for the holiday. So the rooms, our rooms aren't ready yet. They still have to be cleaned, but they said we can just drop off our bags and they'll keep them for us until we check in. Just seems like a wise precaution. So we're busy unloading. Those are my 2 bags over there. My laptop in the black bag and then my little duffel bag there. And yeah, we're just gonna drop them off in the lobby and then we're free to go wherever we want. So explorations of Ipoh have begun. And I'm here with Habib with me. And we just left the car at the hotel. They have underground parking, which is really nice. And Habib's wife isn't feeling that well. She doesn't have the energy to deal with the heat, the midday sun. So she's staying back at the hotel, and it's just the boys. And I was just telling Habib how much I'm admiring his hat.
Yeah.
I need a hat like that. That's the only kind I could wear.
You got it.
And, recently, a YouTuber, American Hobo, he was here in Ipoh for quite a long time on his bicycle. Yeah. And he spent a lot of time riding his bike up and down the Kinta River. So this is all looking very familiar to me. He was out at night a lot, riding his bike along the river shore. So I got a really good impression of Ipoh from his videos. Beautiful place. So we're just on our way to Ipoh's Old Town, which is over here, this district. And we're just going to go head to the main tourism center, the Heritage Walk and the clock tower, and just, yeah, get a feel for the place. But of course, I was saying it reminded me of Georgetown. And here's another way it reminds me of Georgetown. It's supposed to be a like a tourist town, and yet as a pedestrian, it's almost impossible to make progress sometimes, because here, like, there's no way to get across as a pedestrian. Like, no official way. You just have to wait for a break in the traffic and run for it. But that's pretty common in Malaysia, the way the town's just developed historically. There's a beautiful little median park. Yeah, very nice. I think, yeah, just this way and beside the park there. I love towns like this, have a real lived-in feeling. You'll find boarded up buildings like this, and then right beside it, look at this, Durbar at FMS. I assume it's like a fancy bar or coffee shop in an old shop house building. Gorgeous. Maybe it's like a boutique guest house, maybe? Oh, there's a historic sign, FMS Bar and Restaurant, founded in 1906 by a Hainanese immigrant. FMS, an acronym for Federated Malay States, the archetypal European miners and planters bar, reputed to be the oldest restaurant in Malaysia. It has occupied the present premises since 1923 with a hotel upstairs. Huh. So there you go. The oldest restaurant in Malaysia, though I guess that depends how you define restaurant, because there were restaurants in Malaysia before 1923, I can tell you that. again, yeah, it depends. But I guess they're talking about a fancy dine-in restaurant like this. Yeah, look at that building. It's gorgeous. And I guess there's a hotel upstairs. I don't know if it's still operational though. When you look at Google Maps for this area, you get they dropped a pin there for the Ipoh wow sign, sort of a selfie place to get your picture taken here. It's quite near the FMS restaurant. And there's a man there underneath the trees. We're just chatting with him. He overheard me talking about the FMS, and he joined the conversation and confirmed that is the oldest restaurant in Malaysia. And he told us several times that he's homeless, and he often hangs out in this park area. There's a shelter there. But yeah, so he's the Malaysian hobo we met today. I dropped a pin on Google Maps to get us to the Heritage Trail, but we're already on it, as it turned out. I guess anywhere you see this symbol is part of the Heritage Trail. QR code to find out about this particular marker, but it's all about the Hong Kong and Shanghai Bank. And again, because of all of the tin mining, the city of millionaires, they needed a place to put their money. So I guess the banks here are part of the history of the town, and I guess this used to be, it's now HSBC, but it was a historic bank going back to 1903. Another stop on the Heritage Trail. Apparently this is the De Silva building, built at the end of the 19th century. One among the oldest commercial buildings in Ipoh. And if I can step backwards without getting hit by a car, we can, yeah, oh, look at that. Beautiful building, nicely painted on the outside, refreshed. And another Heritage Trail marker. Oh yeah, I thought there would be one for this building. A Victorian Palladian architectural style designed in 1905. The last Chinese Capitan in the state of Perak. So these were the headquarters of the Capitan's trading store. Now I'm too close to see this building, so I got to back up again. Yeah, I saw this from across the road. I figured it had to be a historic building. Yeah. Capitan Chung Tai Fin. And I think we're going to head down in that direction into the heart of Old Town. I don't know if that building is famous over there. Roquette Cafe. Looks like it might be shut down. I'm not sure. There's a lot of, even the Roquette Cafe sign, the letters have fallen off. But it's an interesting building. Yeah, I was just talking about that place. Whether, if it's still open, they need someone to fix their sign. Old Town Cafe, Roquette. Another Heritage Trail marker. There's the QR code if you want to get online, find out about it. But this is the Straits Trading Company from 1899, founded by James Sword of Glasgow. And it says that at the height, this company handled half of the tin ore sales in Perak. So that would be a lot. And with all that money, he was able to build this. Wow. And it's clearly been renovated and kept up with the times. The OCBC Bank. Beautiful building. Yeah, everywhere you look, another classic building. This building also has to be part of the Heritage Trail. Oh yeah, there's the marker out front. What is it today? All of these old business buildings and old bank buildings, they've all been taken over by modern banks, it looks like. What's the sign up there say? Tenaga Nacional. And this is the Perak Hydro Building, apparently. Formed in London in 1926. and they supplied power to the mines and the dredges in the Kinta Valley. And there's the QR code if anybody wants to look it up online, dive into the history. So their subsidiary, Kinta Electrical Distribution, sent power to 63 towns across Perak by 1956. And I guess this was the headquarters of that building, or that company. Huh. On the hunt for Ipoh history, here we are at the town hall. I assume it's being used, that's how it's marked on Google Maps, and I think that's what that means up there. Dawan Bandaran Ipoh means the Ipoh Town Hall, and it's right across the road from the train station, and that's something I really wanted to see. So this little walk is coming together quite nicely. Get to go check out the train station, and then circling around, the clock tower is over here. We're gonna go take a look at the clock tower after the train station. Another classic building here, the courthouse. And there's the QR code. 2 courthouse buildings from 1888 and 1909. Completed in 1928 for the High Court. Spiral staircase, underground tunnel connecting Court 1 and 2. And part of it was bombed during World War I. So this is the courthouse. Huge building. All right. We have a break in the traffic. And from here in the middle of the road, we can see the town hall there, and then the courthouse building over here. I'm not sure, but this might give us a little bit of history of the train station. Oh, it's a memorial to the dead of the 2 world wars. Sacred to the memory of the men from the state of Perak who fell in the Great War, and to those who died in the 1939-45 war. So it's a war memorial. Thailand-Burma Death Railway in memory of. And there's the train station. Yeah. They don't make train stations like this anymore. Not in the modern era. You know it's a part of history. I'm glad they've preserved it. Probably costs a fortune to maintain a historic building like this and keep it running. May not even be the most efficient anymore for modern standards of train travel, but I don't know what this is all about. Looks like maybe there's a historic set of photographs to do with the train station or Ipoh in general. I'm not sure, but yeah, all these photos have been totally blasted by the sun. You can't see. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, I assume these are all pictures from Ipoh, the history, but yeah, there's nothing left of them. Power of the sun. You can see it on display here, especially with photographic film, paper, anything like that. Going inside for a look around, and here we've got the Heritage Trail info, the info dump for the railway station. In 1894, a new stretch of the Kinta Valley Railway line was opened between Ipoh and Batu Gajah. In 1896, 36 wagons were entirely built in Ipoh, with only the ironwork wheels and axles being imported. But there's the QR code for this place. So I guess this building, oh, okay, there's a very familiar name for me, A.B. Hubak or Hubak. And this building is known affectionately as the Taj Mahal of Ipoh. The railway station kitty cats. Hey there, kitty cats. Majestic walk. Huh. There's no hustle and bustle.
No, this is just the arrival hall.
Oh, the arrival hall. Oh, okay. Arrival hall. It's very clean and modern. Ticket counters here. Yeah, there's not really a grand sort of interior. The departure hall, just a functioning train station. Habib has uncovered his secret stash of pomegranates, and I had to confess to him that I know nothing about pomegranates either. I keep being introduced to new things that everyone else in the world knows about. So I have a handful of pomegranate. He's keeping them in a cup on his, whoa. Well, that's a taste sensation. Wow. Little bombs of flavor, these things. Okie doodle. Hey, I'm just not a fruit guy, so people say, hey, would you like some pomegranates? It's like a foreign language to me. I don't even know what they're talking about. But now I know. Yeah. Tasty. There's more of these sun-blasted photographs. And this one here caught my eye because it looks like it's a dredge, the tin mining dredge. And I'm interested in going to see this thing. It's a tourist attraction here, where they charge 38 ringgit now to go on a tour of this thing. There's one remaining dredge. So this is one of the dredges that I was talking about. Looks. I don't think this is the one, but it's one of these giant machines. It moves on the water. It floats on the water and chews up the earth and moves around. It's quite something. And this is another tourist attraction here, Kelly's Castle, kind of an unfinished castle, I'm told. But I think this is the official state mosque of Perak State. It's like a beautiful building, very tropical in its design. A lot of coconut palm trees all around the outsides, the garden areas. Yeah, I don't know why, it just feels tropical to me, the look of the building. And right across is the historic clock tower. Oh. Because that's the half-hour chime, 1:30. Beautiful clock tower. And there's a heritage walk marker in front. We can get a little bit of the history. Yeah, I want to call it the Birch. That's the Birch clock tower, Birch Memorial. But I don't know who Birch is. I'll have to look it up in a minute on the sign. Let's see what they have to say for themselves. The Birch Memorial, as always, the QR code. Unveiled in 1909. Cost $25,000 at the time, a dedication to J.W.W. Birch, the first resident to Perak, is found beneath a bronze bust of Birch in the north-facing niche. The clock tower has one mother bell and four smaller bells. Mounted on pedestals are terracotta figures representing the four virtues of British administration: loyalty, justice, patience, and I missed one. Loyalty, justice, patience. They say there are four virtues, but there's only three listed. Loyalty, justice, patience. Yeah, they're missing one of the virtues, which is pretty funny. But yeah, so I guess those figures on the pedestals are the four virtues, one on each corner. I'm backing away to give other people the chance to take their pictures. Now I have to go all the way around and count them. I count three here, 1, 2, 3. And let's see if there's a fourth one. And which one are they missing? One virtue is not on the sign. Yeah, there are four of them. There's a fourth figure here on this corner. Last look at the Birch Memorial Clock Tower. Beautiful spot right across from the mosque there. Look at the clouds in the sky right now. That is very dramatic. And it looks like we've just sort of stumbled across the Heritage Memorial Walk, like the beginning of it here maybe. There's a sign down at the bottom that says Memorial Walk. This little laneway seems to be part of the Heritage Walk as well. Lorong Panglima, Ipoh. And even has their own QR code for this alleyway. Right there. Maybe it's one of these artistic alleyways. Get yourself a cup of coffee, matcha coffee. And there's a square across here. I think it's called Hong Keng Square, something like that. One of the attractions of Ipoh's Old Town. I've been making my GoPro work pretty hard, so it just, even shooting 2.7K, it just overheated and shut down. So I had to stop and let it cool down. Yeah, there's a classic building. Yeah, all these buildings have a certain style. Kind of this metal framework with the screens around it. Look at that. Little set of trees with the vines up there. Very quaint. We found them, the tourists. We joined our kind, the bustling heart of Ipoh. I saw something on Google Maps in here, and it marked it as busy as it gets. And I think now we know what that means. This is a classic place, Chi Chong Fun. That looks good. Yeah, very cool. Narrow alleyways, all these old buildings. A lot of cafes and bakeries, restaurants. Huh. There's the Old Town White Coffee experience, but they're a big chain, like all across Malaysia. I never made the association white coffee with Ipoh, but maybe that's where the Old Town White Coffee comes from. Very busy place. Love those old buildings. We got a sign here. Oh, okay, this is Lorong Concubine, the second wife lane, the mistress lane. So this area of shop houses was a center for opium smokers, gamblers, and prostitutes owned by tycoons or millionaires. The lanes later renamed different names: Concubine Lane, Wife Lane, Market Lane. So yeah, there's the QR code for this one. So so here we are, diving into Concubine Lane. Just make our way through. Toys for kids, little rubber dinosaurs and animals. Very cool. Bustling today, that is for sure. Nice restaurant. There's the sign, Ipoh, Concubine Lane. Far cry from its roots. I don't think you're going to find an opium den in here anywhere. So, always look up. Got my GoPro pointed up. Imagine having that apartment there. You can sit on the balcony and look down on all of us. Yeah, when you see the roof line, you get a sense for the historic shop house style of these buildings. But down below, it is all modern shopping, souvenirs, and clothing. Everything a good concubine needs can be found here, including snacks. This will probably catch Habib's eye, anything snacky, and his wife. On our car drives, she was always coming out with packages of walnuts and cashews, and I'll stop here and let him catch up with me. He might have to restock all the bags of nuts in the car. Made me think of you. All the bags of nuts, cashews and walnuts and that's cool. Wooden shutters up there on that building. Very nice. Fun place. You can get cake in the form of slippers or Crocs. Something interesting going on over here. Everybody's filming. They got some snacks being made, I guess. Oh, those are nice. Those are the super ice cold drinks. Fresh fries. A lot of ice cream, gelato. We just emerged from Concubine Lane. And there was some music playing there, so I shut down really quickly. Yeah, fascinating little alleyway to walk through. And then opened up onto this busy area, this busy street. And the museum I was thinking about is up here around the corner. And maybe if we see a place to get a cold drink, that might be next on my wish list. There's an interesting... Oh yeah, this is the Mine Museum. I really wanted to see this museum, but it's closed on Mondays. Yeah, so this is the museum I wanted to go visit at some point, but it's closed on Mondays. The Miners Club.
It says?
But the other one is open. Yeah, but this one is closed today. Han Chin Pet Su, all about tin mining. So we're located right across the street. This is the time tunnel. It's kind of a, I don't know if I'd call it a museum, more like a collection.
Do you vlog?
Yep. Sort of a collection of antiques and things like that. But I think before we head in there, we're gonna pop in here for a cold drink. At least it isn't super, super crowded or busy. It looks interesting. The One Cafe. And this is what caught my eye. The best white coffee in town. So I'm not gonna argue with them. If they say they have the best, I'm gonna believe them. And yeah, a little bit of decoration. So let's pop inside. So this is the interior. Not nearly as crowded as all the places in Concubine Lane. Very quaint. And then they've got my favorite thing in the whole world, a system where you write down your own order. I love that. I'm not expecting anything earth-shattering, but I did order their traditional white coffee. It isn't actually white, it comes dark brown. But I'm sure it's good iced coffee, so I'm not really worried whether it's living up to the famous white coffee or not. Let's give this a sip. Yeah, it's fine. White iced coffee, basically. I don't know what makes white coffee from Ipoh different from any other iced coffee around Malaysia, but now we can say that we had it. Anyway, did you have the famous white coffee? Yes, we did. Yeah, conclusion about this place, it's awesome. It's a really cool spot. The One Cafe, and the more I had of that white coffee, the more I liked it. It was a really good cup of coffee. Yeah. The food, I had a galaxy sandwich here, really tasty sandwich. And in the back, they get more and more sort of quaint in terms of their decorations, because they have a back entrance that goes out to Concubine Lane. And at the front here, it feels a little bit more normal. But yeah, it's kind of a cool place. I mean, they have a really good reputation for their white coffee. And it's probably justified, the best white coffee in town. Cool. So anyway, I decided to give this little Time Tunnel Museum a miss for now. Not really in the mood. I think it's more like antiques. I think if you're Malaysian, you can go in there and see all kinds of things from your childhood. But if I'm going to spend time at a museum, I'd rather do it at like a tin mining museum. And the main one is up here, but it's not open until tomorrow. So yeah, I'm not going to go into this other museum just now. There's another cool building over there. It's like the Kung Fu Cafe or something. Kung Fu Kopitiam. But there's another famous laneway here that has all the street art, like all the murals and things like that. So we're gonna go walk over there and then take a stroll up the street art. The mural lane, I think they call it. Yeah, for a foodie or a snack person, lots of options here. Look at that. All kinds of snacks and candies, traditional local things. And that's, I think I pointed it out as we went through, that's the mining museum. You can actually get a 1-hour guided tour. The Hakka Miners Club and Museum. Really interesting building. Yeah, I think this is the mural lane. The guy who did this piece right here, he's the same guy that started it in Georgetown. He was from like Bulgaria or somewhere, this artist. And he did all the ones in Georgetown that made it famous. And then they asked him to come and do them here too. Selfie paradise here. Look at that. Yeah, beautiful shop house fronts here too. Cute. Always look up. See where you are. We're walking by Concubine Lane again. Lorong Concubine. Oop. Even a pedestrian traffic jam. Fried ice cream. Yeah. Something caught my eye. So in the spirit of the 5-snack challenge, I have to go get one. Fried ice cream. So we're going to grab one of these. So this is what we've got. So we've got durian is the best seller. I think that's what I'm going to go for. So I guess it has to be prepared and cooked a little bit, or maybe it's all ready to go. I'm not sure how this works. Do you take touch and go or just cash?
Touch and go and cash. Touch and go and cash.
Okay. So it's made in advance, but then it has to be fried. Cool. 9 ringgit. Durian, you know, that's the premium fried ice cream right there. So yeah, so I guess the whole thing was frozen, and then they just popped it into the oil to fry the outside really quickly without without melting the ice cream on the inside. That's good. I love the durian flavor in the ice cream, anything like that. So good. Oh, look where we are. Right back at the One Cafe. Habib is navigating for our return to the hotel. Meet up with our the third member of our group wasn't feeling well today, so she stayed at the hotel to rest while we went out exploring. But we might come back out here again tonight once the sun goes down. She's feeling better. On the way back to the hotel, we passed another of the Ipoh Heritage Trail markers, and this one is for the Quinta Fire Brigade. After the Great Fire of Ipoh in 1892, fire precautions were improved, and this 1913, I guess, they created the central fire station. And I'm assuming it's this building right here was part of the central fire station after the Great Fire of Ipoh. Hadn't heard about that before. Yeah, this is the road heading back to our hotel. We still haven't left the Heritage Trail. It's everywhere. Cool lane heading back to our hotel. Memory Lane. Another historic building over there, this blue one. Much quieter over here. We're away from Old Town. There's another interesting building. Perak Taipu Association, 1966. A Red Flower Cafe. It's a fancy cafe over there. And there's the hotel, Hotel Regal Vista. There's quite an interesting restaurant over there as well. Forget the name of it, but I just saw the sign. Something like an acting kind of restaurant. Had a name associated with theater somehow. There it is, home sweet home for tonight and tomorrow night. And then back to KL after that. This will be the last stop other than KL on the mystery tour of Malaysia. My room. Let there be light. The view outside. And the view inside. A little bit of me, it's fresh out of the hot sun. Yeah, very different from the other places we stayed at. Very interesting room. There's the bed. Got some bedside tables, water, coffee, kettle. And for this room, we have 3 remotes. Air conditioner, and then 2 more. I can't imagine what they're for. Get your own iron. And, massive amount of light switches here. Fancy phone. Ooh, there we are. Complimentary toiletries, soap, conditioner, shampoo. And rainfall kind of shower. And they have all the services. So this hotel is like a step up from where we were the last couple of days. You know, laundry service, luggage storage. And they advertise all of their spas and banquet halls. I guess there's a swimming pool somewhere, hot and cold jacuzzi. Get yourself a massage and pedicure, manicure, sauna. All the good stuff, I guess. So, yeah. I don't know what the remotes are for. Haven't figured that out yet. Got a TV, that's one remote. Air conditioner is the other. Maybe the fan has its own remote. Let's figure this out. Yeah, I think I was right. This has to be the air conditioner. Or is it already on? Oh, maybe there's a power for the air conditioner has to be turned on. Oh, there's a power thing. There we go. No response. Try again. There we go. There you go. So, aircon remote. We got that sorted. And I don't think there's any confusion about this. This would be the TV remote. But anyway, I can just assume that's the TV. And then this has to be the fan. Off, on. Maybe you have to aim it somewhere special. I'm aiming it at the fan, but it's having no effect. Switches maybe, let's turn on all the switches. Oh, light, light, light. So that one could have been, oh, there we go. So that was the fan. It just didn't have the power turned on. And then I guess now we could turn it off from here. So exciting. Who knew? I lived a life where you have a remote control for your fan. Now we can turn it back on. And then it has all the different power settings. 1, 2, 3, timer, sleep mode. Very fancy. So that is it for now. And this, I may end the video here. We might go out again tonight, but maybe I can make, if I record that experience, I could make it into a separate video. Something like that. I think right now feels like a proper time to end this. Yeah, very nice day. A lot of, like the other days that we spent on the road involved a fair amount of driving. When we started off in KL, drove to Taman Negara. I mean, that was a full day basically. Well, not really, but we drove for a long time. But at the end of the day, we still went down to the river, had a nice meal at the river jetty in the national park, Taman Negara, and then we went across the river in a boat and went for a hike through on the boardwalk in the rainforest there, just a short hike just to look around. So yeah, that was a pretty long, pretty full day. And then the day after that, we stayed in Taman Negara and we did our riverboat tour, heading up the river and then back down again. That was a great day. But then after that, we had our epic traffic jam going from Kuala Tahan to Gua Musang. And then we hit the major traffic jam on the highway system. And that was a full day of driving. And then we drove from Gua Musang to Gopeng, the village just outside of Ipoh. And when that was first, and when that happened, like it turned out we weren't able to get a room in Ipoh for last night. I thought, oh, that's too bad, because it would have been better, I thought, to be based in Ipoh for all 3 nights to really get to know the town and your neighborhood. But I'm really glad we had that pit stop in Gopeng where we woke up this morning. That was really nice. Gave a different flavor for this region to stay in a regional town like that, and an interesting little hotel, great little restaurants, local neighborhood restaurants where we had breakfast. That was a really nice experience. And then we just had like a 45-minute drive today from Gopeng to get here, which left us plenty of time to go exploring in Old Town. That was nice. I think that was it kind of worked out well in a way. Even though our plans didn't quite work out the way we wanted, it worked out really nicely at the same time. So yeah, now that I've got my room here, going to settle down, settle in, shut down, and as always, go check out the Planet Doug Patreon. Some updates there, photos, little tidbits, real-time updates about what it is I'm up to. And on YouTube, if you go to my channel page and then you go to the posts, you'll get updates there about exactly what I'm doing day to day, both on Patreon and on YouTube there. So go check those out. And perhaps I'll see you there. And if not, as always, I'll see you, I hope, in the next video. See you then.